Hi, everyone. We're back with another exciting week of rehearsals. This week, we are talking BandTober. All right. So we'll find out what made Ashlee say.
I love seeing all of the college bands and they all cheer for each other. It's just amazing.
And why Bobbey said.
I did have one. I have one thing I think I want to collectively say for all of the hosts and everyone listening in response to this article. Duh.
All this and more. So get back out on the field, and we'll see you back here on the sidelines on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Season 2 On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Nicole Younger. It is the most wonderful time of the year. Well, maybe for some, but right now it's BandTober. Okay, so we've brought on some fun guest clinicians and our regular host to see how everyone is handling BandTober this year. So let's see who's on the sideline this week. Let's see, Cindy. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I feel like it's been literally this time last year that we actually got to see each other.
Probably. I kind of disappeared during the rest of the year, but when marching band season starts, I am all in.
Nice. Well, tell me what you've been doing this summer.
Well, towards the end of the summer after DCI was over, I did get to go to some of that, which was amazing, but went down to Texas for the week. As y'all know, I moved to Northwest Arkansas a few years ago. So Landers are home, but we live in Northwest Arkansas now. And I get back there often. My baby girl is still down there. And my favorite band is still down there. And so I've done BOA Austin. Last weekend, I went and did BOA Memphis. And so it's been nothing but marching band for me since, I guess, mid-September.
I love it. I love that you're such a band nerd, but you're a band parent. That you're a band parent.
Used to be, yeah. I guess I'm an eternal band parent because it's been a while, but
Right.
I'm there. I'm their biggest fan.
Oh, good. Okay, and Ashlee, hello, lady.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing. It is definitely BandTober all day, every day.
You've had collegiate band going on, eh?
Yes, that was yesterday. Went fantastic. I love seeing all of the college bands and they all cheer for each other. It's just amazing.
Oh, good. I love the camaraderie. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we have Bobbey Biddle. Hello.
Hi, Nicole.
How are you?
I'm good. How is everything in your world?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, I'm in the thick of BandTober as well, but in a different light than you are. So, how are you holding up?
Well, I have it on all ends. I have it in my professional work life, and then I have it with teaching and being the director of a marching band. So, is it BandTober for me? I don't know.
It's all things marching hard for you. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, I do want to get on with this today. So we're going to bring in our guest clinician who we are starting their first BandTober journey as a band director. So this is Sean McWilliams. Hello, Sean.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us tonight. And honestly, what should I say? Welcome to your first BandTober as a band director.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't age you like 5 years.
I don't know. My hairline's showing it, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, you should snap a picture every month. See how it changes.
We're keeping Rogaine in business. I'll say that.
Okay. Well, Sean, we, just like with every other clinician that we bring on, we like to do what we call the 32 count life story. What we do is give you 32 counts, and you can fit as much in there as you possibly can. Okay? All right. So we'll have a Met and we'll give you 8 off the Met and then you're in. Got it?
Affirmative.
All right. Good luck.
All right. So I got cut from the battery in my high school marching band. That's how my band journey started. And I basically, you know, I wanted to prove that I could do something, and I went really hard with front ensemble for a long time. I did the whole drum corps thing. I did the indoor drumline thing. I went to music school for 7 years, and now here I am. I'm a band director, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying working with students all the time, and you know, getting to see them be their best selves.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's
He was like, I want to end. You ended strong. You ended strong.
just like a percussionist, you know, get right in time, right?
Absolutely. I do want to go into a couple of things about you. So you marched at Cadets of Bergen County.
Mhm.
Okay. And some great shows that were you in just one show or?
I did 2 summers. So I was the timpanist for the 2016 summer, and I was the timpanist for the 2017 summer. So I had the handing of batons between the percussion staff changing and a lot of new staff coming on board between those 2 years. It was an awesome experience for me to see how culture works even in a group like a drum corps. So
right. Well, and you also went to Eastman School of Music, and that's in Rochester, New York. I used to live in Rochester, so that's where we have our tie-in. But definitely a very big powerhouse of a music school. I used to go to because the juries were open. I don't know if they were still open for you, but I would go and watch those. That would be my little culture for the
you had to kind of know the right person to get in, but they were kind of open. It was usually professors, other professors would come in and watch, and maybe an old alumni or something like that. But speaking of Rochester, I have my Dogtown that hot dog garbage plate place.
Oh,
you remember the throwback to Rochester stuff. Yeah. But no, I just did my 2 years doing my master's degree at the Eastman School of Music, and I got to study with great teachers, and I had, some of the best mentors I could ever have in an education. I mean, I'm also super lucky to have gone to Westchester University I went for music ed and performance, and it was actually the only school I applied for when it comes to college. I only applied to one school for my undergrad. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't really have people telling me what to do or show me what the best idea was, but I put my eggs in one basket, and it worked out, for me there. So yeah, I was super lucky to go to Westchester University too. I went for music ed and music performance, and it was actually the only college I applied for as a high school student. I don't know what I was thinking, but I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just put all my eggs in one basket. I went for the band, and I don't think I had much. No one was telling me what to do, so I was with when it comes to college stuff. So I got lucky, in a lot of ways.
So for our younger listeners who are probably listening, you should probably maybe apply to a couple of schools.
Yeah, broaden your horizons a little bit.
Now. You picked a really good one.
And now you are you're doing your first year as a band director, and what's the name of the school?
Yeah, so I'm the band director at Chichester High School. So I run the marching band. I'm actually splitting the jazz band with another music teacher at the high school. He happens to be the choir teacher. Him and I teach that group together after school. I run an after school concert band, a concert band that happens during the day. I teach guitar. I teach 2 periods of guitar every day. I teach music technology, and I teach a combined basic music theory and AP music theory class that is all in the same room. So it's an interesting smattering of different types of band and guitar for the general part of the high school, and then music tech for a lot of the another general populace of the high school. Also, a lot of a large percentage of the high school has students who are in the special education, and I get to work with a lot of those students, and it's honestly one of the best parts of my day because they love music like anyone else does. It's awesome.
Perfect. Perfect. And I'm just making sure I know this too. There's a correlation between you and Ashlee?
As first year band directors,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, so my high school has a new band director, and University of Delaware also has a new band director. So both groups that I work with, they all got flipped around.
There's so many new band directors, not just like, first year at a school, but new band directors coming in this year that I'm finding out. I think that's awesome. All right, so we are going to dive right into all things BandTober in just a minute, but first it's time for the news. All right, so who are we hearing from first today?
I believe I have the first story, and it's about one of my favorite subjects, football. But believe it or not, it is band related, and it's also related to the hurricane. And it's really cool how the bands at University of North Carolina State and Wake Forest, two North Carolina big rivalry schools, and they had a football game on Saturday, and they wanted to honor their neighbors to the west that had suffered so from Hurricane Helene. And so these two bands performed together before the game, an amazing Grace rendition, and it's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, definitely look it up and watch it because it's so pretty. And I just love it when stuff like that happens. Yeah, I love it when bands come. I remember that happened a year or two ago in high school. Like there was a mass shooting, and was it Waukee, or I don't remember where, but the high school, they did the same thing. They performed, the high school that was affected, the other school's band performed their fight song. So I just love it when bands come together.
That was Appalachia.
Yeah, and do this kind of stuff. It's cool. It's a small thing, but it gets in everybody's hearts and minds and brings people together. And
it's a community all the time.
That's what I love about
those stories.
Yeah.
You need a feel-good story.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of those, as we know, a lot of the South, especially in Western Carolina, North Carolina, are still coming out of that horrible natural disaster. Interestingly, not to put Jeremy's business out there, but I was talking to him yesterday. His in-laws live down there in the Asheville area. They're lucky they're at the top of a mountain. But so I think every one of us probably has someone or a group that we're connected to, and we're talking about it all the time on our group chat. So prayers and lots of good, happy, joyful wishes going towards all of those people. And there's another one on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that today too. Well, if you are in those areas, know that we here at On a Water Break are really thinking about you and hope that you all stay safe. Let's move it along to Sean.
Yeah, so the news today, basically what I'm reading is band is good for your heart. Who would have thought that running basically with weights tied around your body or being held by students is gonna do good things for your heart. It looks like a study done kind of around a bunch of Texas schools. The Blue Coats are involved. Students from George Mason, DCI, basically contributing to research on how exercise, specifically drum corps related and marching band related exercise, or I think more generally, marching arts related exercise does benefit your heart. Now they cite some other interesting things like mental health being supported, as well as like the leadership aspect of so many different marching programs out there, and how peer related support and community is built. And they talk about this 16-year-old band student from Texas and his experiences managing just a huge number of rehearsals, performances, and competitions. And he actually mentions how high pressure it is, but also how he feels like there's so much growth involved in experiencing something like a Texas band season. This research looks like it was covered by Dr. Deshaun Young, Dr. Tony Torres McGee, and they talk about how these groups have huge, highly developed levels of group cohesion, peer support, resilience, and they learn how to handle life adversities like eating disorders, anxiety, and even the potential to deal with bullies. Teaches you how to overcome those things. Bully Awareness Month.
I love that. Love that. It's amazing how much people are coming to. I don't want to say grips, but like they are putting the mental health aspect of our activity front and forward with everything, and it's on the tips of everyone's tongue. It's not just. I mean, I love that these folks are doing this, but I know that there are other people talking about ways they want to contribute to the well-being and mental health of all of the performers and marching bands. So I love that.
Hey, Nicole,
right.
I did have one. I have one thing I think I want to collectively say for all of the hosts and everyone listening in response to this article. Duh.
It's so true because I have a friend of mine and I have ADHD. I have a friend of mine who has those problems, like some cognitive issues. This is the activity for folks that have cognitive issues. I mean, that was the first thing I could dive into, and I was just like, there's so many aspects. I'm the wheel in this cog, and I want to know how this works. Well, and then it's just like a squirrel. But at the same time, you're still in there because you're like, wait, if I move, I'm wrong. That's just a small part of it. But yes, very, very much so. Bobbey, what do you have for us?
Some news out of Baltimore. The very famous and beloved Magnificent Marching Machine from Morgan State University is heading to the Rose Bowl Parade in 2026. How about that? Very exciting. They are so famous and so beloved and wonderful that actually when Jeremy and I were at Collegiate, the college band festival in Allentown this past weekend, we said, where's Morgan State? They're usually there. So their presence is always missed when they're not there, but they will be in Pasadena on New Year's Day of 2026. And I did find something very interesting in the article that the Marching Machine is one step closer to completing the Triple Crown of parade events: the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Rose Bowl Parade, and the U.S. Presidential Inauguration Parade. And as someone who's worked in parade producing and parade performance production for over 20 years, I didn't know there was such a thing. It's like the EGOT of parades. So we wish the Marching Machine from Morgan State University out of Baltimore an incredible journey. Obviously, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of fundraising. But if anyone is going to kill it and be phenomenal and bring a lot of pizzazz and energy down that parade route, it is this marching unit. So congratulations to them.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't wait for them to, I want to see how they feel after getting their Triple Crown. I'm sure it'd be great. Cindy, you got another one for us, huh?
Yeah, I do, but I have to also say how much I just love in general HBCU schools. They are just, I wish we could see more of them. They performed, I know, an exhibition in Texas on Saturday, and I would have given anything to have been there. It was Prairie View A&M, and I did get to see them in Austin a few years ago. They did an exhibition at a BOA, and I just love the difference between like a BOA core style band and an HBCU band. They're so different, and I mean, until you see their style. You just don't know what you're missing. I just love them. I could talk about them forever. But anyway, I do have another news story. It's another university story. This one's not football related, but kind of. It's about a young lady, 20-year-old young lady named Gabby Reason, who has POTS, which is a condition that causes her heart rate to beat abnormally fast. And she has a service dog, and she plays cymbals in the band. And evidently in high school, they were able to work with her and she kept her little puppy dog on the field with her. But when she got to college, it was no go at her first school. So she transferred to the University of Northern Iowa and into the Panther Marching Band. And they allow her puppy dog, her name is Winnie, and she wears a little cowboy hat. And evidently she wears earbuds in her ears because, Gabby's banging the cymbals, and then there's the whole band there. But so she alerts Gabby, if her heart is beating too fast. Evidently, it can cause her to faint, and so it's important for her to have Winnie by her side. And it's really cool that this big college band is allowing her to have Winnie on the field with her. I just love it.
Oh, I did see, I think we talked about this a little bit, but I did see a TikTok about her. So she and Winnie are very popular right now.
I bet they are. Oh, you should see her with her little cowboy hat on. She's so cute.
And I just want to let people know too, because Winnie is a service dog, right?
Correct.
Right. I just want to let people know, when you see someone with a service dog, you're not really supposed to pet them. So make sure you talk to the person who has the service dog first. Just don't assume. But I think that's awesome that she is able to still do what she can do with her service dog. That's I love it.
I love it. Band is you were talking earlier about heart health and all the benefits. Well, band is so inclusive. And I mean, there's so many things about marching band where they say, okay, we can make that work. Okay. Oh, your student is hearing impaired, can't see, whatever their disability is, the bands are figuring it out and making it work. And a child in a wheelchair, I mean, it goes on and on. I'm just always so impressed with, there's no limit to what kids can do. And marching band embraces that. And I love that.
I love that we're having this heartwarming moment during BandTober on this episode.
Yeah.
All the way around. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, it is time to work on those changes that we had for the closer again, and we'll be right back as we dive deeper into BandTober.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
And we are back. All right, so we want to dive a little bit into BandTober. And so, just no one knows what it means to everyone else. So what it means to me now is very different what it meant to me then. I used to be a guard director at very different schools, and there's a difference between your BandTober, if you are doing multiple shows on one weekend, or, you're adding the last movement in and your rewrites, that kind of thing. That usually is what happens here. right now, what it means to me is just making sure that my commentary is, because I'm a judge now, my commentary is clear, that I'm going back and like just looking at, my spreads and, just making sure that I'm coming across, in a way that everyone's going to get it. And also on the little logical things. Okay, I'm going to get new pencils. I'm going to get, this stuff and whatnot. So I want to know what it means to all of the people that we have on the panel tonight, because we have lots of different aspects of the marching band activity right in front of us. Parent, color guard director, apparel, uniforms, a band director. We have all of that in front of us. So I want to know I want to know from you all, what does this BandTober mean to you? What are you doing during this time? We'll start with Bobbey.
Yeah. So I kind of wear a few different hats during this time of the year. So I am a high school marching band director. Actually, Sean and I haven't had a chance to meet, but our bands competed against each other this past weekend. I'm from Plymouth White Marsh, Sean. How are you? So I'm in year 4 as a marching band director, but I've been at the same program for about 18 years. So what Sean's realizing now is this is the month of homecoming. This is the month of senior night. This is the month of obviously continued football games. This is the month where you have to figure out if you're going to have a stadium because of homecoming activities. This is the month of possibly your home show. So there's a lot going on in that aspect, in addition to finishing your show, getting all aspects on the field. At this point, hopefully we're at a point where we're sprinkling fairy dust on our shows and finishing the last bit of visuals, and the color guards are getting their last little bit of choreography in, and maybe you're adding props in or adding fabric in or whatever you're doing. So there's that, which is, I find it's more administrative than it is even teaching. I envision like I'm going to teach so much when I'm a band director. It's more it's more emailing janitors and bus drivers and athletic directors and secretaries but those things are good because you're meeting and connecting with lots of different people. And what you realize too, hopefully, is you have an incredible staff. I have an incredible assistant director, incredible instructional staff that and understand my vision, and they're able to run with this, which is great. With the apparel, flag, costume business, finishing up the last little bit of orders, fixing a couple things if they need to be fixed. Oh, we didn't realize we had our prop dimensions wrong. Can you reprint these in a hurry? Of course, So this is still, a little bit of a busy time, not as busy as like late August, all of September, but I'm still finding people need something in a pinch. We need a soloist costume. Do you have something in stock? Can you bust a bunch of pretty unitards out in a week? Something fell through. So yeah, it's very busy. And what personal life?
Right. In a way, this is everything. This is we spend more time with our programs than we do with the people in our families.
Right.
So, and maybe, Sean, you'll pick up some things from what we're talking about on the way here. I'm remembering now that, like, this is your first time as a band director.
Yeah. No, BandTober for me has been, so far, we're 7 days in? We're 1 week in. It could have been a whole month. I wouldn't know. I don't think I would know. But it's been great. Bobbey, a lot of what you said resonated with me. I feel like the thing that keeps coming to my mind as each, new thing to handle as the director comes, is like, this is where all of the seeds that I planted back in July and August when I first started at Chichester, this is where all the seeds are coming, or maybe you could say this is where all the crows are coming to roost this month. The good things, the things that I need to improve next year, the things that I need to think of improving in the next 5 years, so I think it's also like, I always say to my students that this season has been me just the anthem of the end is always the hardest to get through, because that's when you're the most tired. And so it's sometimes the beginning is also the hardest to start, just to get things going. But it's those beginnings and endings that matter the most sometimes, because once you're in the routine in the middle of the season, it goes, and then September passes and you blinked maybe 3 times. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bobbey just said it's a marathon, not a race. Absolutely. Yeah, it's how long can you keep that pace, and not stop, not take days off, not
Yeah. But also, like, and this is where I come in as that, like, an advocate to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And when this is me talking to all of you right now, like, and everyone that's listening, yes, please take time, like, to, like, center yourself, find home base, because I know that when I was when I was a director, I would all my meals were in my car, like, oh, I haven't eaten, I gotta go through something, and then I would go get it. And then sometimes it gets to the point where you go get it, you're coming back to the school, but here's a fire you have to put out. And, let me put the dinner in the passenger seat for now, that kind of thing. Or just, taking time to yourself just to decompress after you get home. Those things are important too. But Cindy, I do want to know if you have anything for the parents. Like, what happens with the parents right now?
Absolutely. I just want parents to know that they need to lower their expectations of their children, because they are working. Not only are they working crazy hours in rehearsal, but they're trying to keep their grades up. And so, and I did just hear an interesting statistic that band kids mostly have their best grades during marching season, which is crazy to me. But I think it's probably because they have to schedule their time. They have to do their homework. They have to do their practice. Everything is so regimented. But I just want moms and dads lay off them a little bit when on the weekend they just want to crash and sleep. Let those babies sleep. I promise you that the trash will get taken out. The yard will get mowed. What it will happen. You've got this 4-year time with this child, and band is the best 4 years of their life in most cases. And so let them enjoy that. Marching season doesn't last forever. So lighten up a little on the workload and the expectations. And I just encourage them, because they are working probably harder than mom and dad are working right now. And yes, moms and dads have great jobs, prop crews, all the things they can do on the sides, repairing uniforms. There's so many jobs you can do, moms and dads. Do every one of them that you can possibly do, because you will look back on this and you will not regret that you helped your child and your child's band during this crazy time. It's all worth it. So worth it.
Well, and Cindy is sort of the head mom, the adopted mom of all of our band kid listeners. Thank you to the parents during these last several weeks. I know I've been incredibly lucky in all my years at my school. Of course, the occasional thing happens, and but it's usually just misunderstandings happen with frustration and just miscommunication. But I've been so lucky with parents that just want to chip in and provide meals for the kids, and they give the staff lovely gifts sometimes. And so thank you to all of those parents. And like Cindy's saying, I think that's the best role a parent can play in this moment. What can I do for you? How can I help the program? Is there anything that
Support.
you need? Can I pick you up a coffee on my way in?
I loved that.
Those things are appreciated.
Yeah, it's not time to give your opinions to the band directors. It's just time to support in whatever way you can. Your opinion doesn't matter right now.
It's just so much fun, and but I do want to know, like, I've seen some shows, and I know that you all have seen some shows. So I want to get into the part of when we're talking about this, about the shows that we should be seeing. Like, we're not all in the same, well, you guys, Sean and Bobbey, you are, but like, I'm not in the same areas as you are. So it's just like, let me know how, what should we be watching? What do we need to be looking up?
Well, I'm not as connected with the BOA scene at the moment. I know Cindy's so bringing so much of that into this conversation. Nicole, I think you're a little more synced into that. I see a lot of it happening in our group text, which is exciting. I will say that I was at the College Band Festival yesterday. Oh gosh, Sunday. Yeah, with Jeremy was there, Ashlee was there. I got to see some incredible college marching bands from the sort of Mid-Atlantic Northeast area. And Ashlee, when she's going to be joining us, she's going to go into a little bit more of it too. But Westchester University, of course. Sean, I don't know if you've had a chance to see them yet. But Westchester, the University, the University of Delaware. Hello, amazing. University of New Haven, or just some incredible groups. Widener University, which is Jeremy's team. Just wonderful to see college bands. I remember fondly my college band years, and gosh, to not have the pressure of competing and just having a good time, I miss that.
So I wanted to ask about that because I don't think I've ever seen that before. So this just college bands getting together to perform?
Yeah, Sean, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically like a huge love fest of just, I think it was like something like maybe 12:30 to 4:30 or 4:45 or something like that. Just almost 5 full hours of just college band, like no competition. I was there yesterday as well. I was just hanging. My girlfriend teaches the pit at Westchester, so I was just hanging out, and I saw my friends at University of Delaware. I'm a big nerd, and I love the front ensemble stuff, and I still do, even as a band director. And I love seeing how the educational aspect works. Like Delaware, they do this thing where everyone switches instruments in the front ensemble each movement, so they all get a chance to play different things. And Westchester does the drum corps style thing where most people stay on the same instrument, and everyone's doing different stuff, and it all works for educationally different reasons. And I think it's super cool. And the product is also such a high level, no matter where you go. And it's cool to see. It's cool to see groups that are far away, like Boston University and University of New Haven or New Haven. It was one of the universities from there, and then even Shippensburg from way out in western PA. So it's awesome. It's such a cool thing. I got introduced to it when I went to Westchester. I didn't know about it. I went to Upper Darby High School, and I didn't know about it when I was there. But I mean, I want to get my high school students involved, or get them up there or something. That'd be I think such a cool thing,
I love that. Wow. I've never seen it before. Let's see. As far as like shows, I am gonna go back into that too. And like I said, Cindy, I know you've got a big BOA thing for us. So let's go. Well, actually, we'll start with me because I do have one. And there was at a show that we just did this weekend. Now, I'm not playing any kind of favorites here because the band that I'm about to talk about was the host band, and so they went on for just comments only. But Central Lafourche High School out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Wow. And I can just tell you, wow, with the things that are coming out of New Orleans, like I was, excuse me, I was so impressed, like gobsmacked. But they're all of their whole staff. I will tell you that their color guard person, I think, is also their production coordinator. He made all of their marching band uniforms and the color guard uniforms.
Wow.
And wrote. It's like, so like that, and they have that in house. That to me is like, you don't get that everywhere. And they have an arranger who is actually in-house too. So they have everything like right there, like in their hands, just to take and go with everything else. I just thought that everything they did was pretty phenomenal. And honestly too, for having to run a show and then your kids are coming in at the end to perform, Honestly, I would have thought that they would be a little less energy. However, they had all the energy in the world, and it does make sense. Like, you're at your home show, you're in front of like all of the people, that you want to see your show, and then to show all the other bands your show as well. So, but I thought that was a great way to end that show, and they had a great run with it too.
That's cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a lot of jazzy stuff coming out of New Orleans?
You would think, but there was just, I think that there's a formula, I think, that some bands have that are bigger, some maybe even in Texas, some Indiana, and I feel like Louisiana's got their own, they've got a formula that they're cooking up.
Okay.
And it's good. Yeah. It's about time.
Yes.
It's about
I'm glad
time.
you said that, because that's kind of something I wanted to say was something I've observed since I have left Texas 3 years ago. I guess we've been here 4 years now. And I have been able to experience more Arkansas bands, more Oklahoma bands. I was in Memphis on Saturday and saw bands from Mississippi and Tennessee. And I am seeing more states embrace that style that we associate with Texas and Indiana, the great bands, of course. And and I guess I sort of took for granted that, the best bands come out of Texas and Indiana. But I'm really seeing there's Courts Bentonville, which is 15 minutes from me. I went to their football game last Friday night because why not? And Bentonville is phenomenal. And then, Oklahoma, of course, has Broken Arrow, but they also have Southmore. They have Owasso. They have so many, Jinx and Bixby. I mean, these are names that you're hearing more and more. Missouri has Blue Springs. I mean, I'm loving that it's not just the Indiana and Texas bands anymore. I'm just loving it.
The Jinx color guard director, actually, I had her on for the WGI Con.
Oh, yeah.
Wrap up. So Jara was on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
just
love how
it.
our world is so big, but we're getting so small.
I felt kind of insulated in Texas because you're just surrounded by, let's be honest, some of the greatest bands, so many of them, and because music is such a huge deal in Texas, and the schools embrace that, and they give fine arts gives them so much money, and the districts give them so much support. And what can you say? But when you have that, you're going to have incredible programs. But when I went to Memphis on Saturday and I saw all these little Arkansas bands, Cabot and Bryant, and then I saw Mississippi, schools I'd never heard of. And I'm like, these guys need to come to Texas. We need to see more of these kids at BOA San Antonio, because these Texas fans need to see that these other areas, they got it too, they do. And it's just so cool to see. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to jump right into the next thing, but first we're going to take a break.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, your producer from On a Water Break, and here are your announcements coming from the box. While you're enjoying this amazing episode, don't forget our other episodes, including the one about Peggy Twiggs, the one where we go behind the scenes of the Olympics and the marching arts. We check out the first female drummers from Crossmen. We also have amazing special features, including At Step Off with Jack Goudreau, Lost in Translation with Cynthia Bernard, and Behind the Lens with Chris Marr and Russell Tanakaya. Don't forget our other bonus feature, On a Water Break With, where we explore individuals or small groups. We talk to people like Eric Carr, Forte Athletics, and comedian Tony Deo. If you know of a story, or you know of someone that would make a great story, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, field staff, take it away.
All right, y'all. So Ashlee had to peace out of rehearsal, so we won't have her for the rest of rehearsal. But we're going to jump right into our segment next that we call "What Are We Doing?"
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right. So, What Are We Doing is the segment when we talk about what are we doing in the marching arts. So, Bobbey, what are we doing?
Oh, what are we doing? I wish Trish was here. She would love this. What are we doing when you are a Major League Baseball fan and it conflicts with your October marching band schedule?
Amen.
So Sean will know in Philadelphia, we have what's called Red October for the Phillies. Right now, they're in whatever version of league playoffs they're in against the Mets. One game was a horrible shutout. The most recent one was pretty good. And so when you're at rehearsal and all the kids are checking their phones, and the staff at the competition the other day was like, "No, we're losing." So how is everyone else surviving? And I really wish Trish was here because I think she would have an opinion. But it's kind of lighthearted. But if anyone has any input, I'd love to hear it.
I think the same thing is actually happening here in Cincinnati with the Bengals because they lost their game. And everyone is always trying to figure out like what's happening. You can just see it. Somebody's got it on their phone off to the side, and it's just like, excuse me. But could you tell me what's happening? Oh, I love it. Cindy, what are we doing?
You cut out for a minute. I'm sorry. Did you say Cindy?
Yeah, Cindy.
I'm sorry. Well, I have a good one from Saturday, and it's kind of a hot button for me, but parents, what are we doing talking in the stands during a band performance? Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many times I turned around and shushed people, and I didn't think I was that person. But this weekend I really was. And I'm like, it's not cool. It's not cool at all to be talking. If it's not your child's band playing, that doesn't give you the opportunity to chat with your neighbor.
What gets me is it's a performance. You wouldn't go into a theater and talk during the whole performance, would you?
Exactly. I wanted to say that.
I think we come to expect it a little bit at football games.
Oh, definitely.
We're the white noise during halftime and all of that. But you're right. When you go to a competition, and I experienced it a little bit at collegiate, and I think that I was sitting next to, I think, a high school group. They were just so excited to be there. Like every time a band played something, they knew the name of the song. They squealed at the top of their lungs, and they were excited. But it's like, well, people kind of paid for the seat next to you, so. But I don't know. If it's band kids, I'm a little more forgiving. But other parents talking during other bands' performances, come on.
It's so rude. And I really found the band kids were better about that. They were much more, watching what was going on. There were a lot of band kids in the stands with me watching the other bands perform, and it was just the parents. And sometimes I feel like maybe it's a lack of education from the band directors. I really feel like this is a speech, Sean, that band directors need to have with their parents at the beginning of every season. They need to be taught some etiquette and not just being quiet when other bands are performing, but how to cheer for other schools, because you don't just clap for your own child's band. You clap for all of them. I just want to bonk these people on the head. I'm like, come on, your child's band's not the only one out there. Their kids are working just as hard as yours. They deserve your love and support and all of your applause. And speaking of support and applause, another thing parents need to be taught is how to applaud when their child's band is taking the field at a competition, when it's appropriate, and how long that should go on, and how boisterous it should be. There's just a lot of things that I really feel like parents just aren't. You can't really blame them if they haven't been told. Like you said, halftime at a football game, people talking, nobody really thinks about it. I don't think they realize at a band competition, hey, I really should show my respect for these other kids who have worked just as hard as my kid.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
hot button.
It's a very hot button issue.
Yeah.
It's very valid.
I was I mentioned earlier like the seeds that we plant back in the middle of the summer. This is one that I completely missed. I will be completely honest. I am like, I'm putting it on the schedule next year. Like, Sean, make sure you talk to everybody about band comp, etiquette, because even I have personally like lost it in being out of like the marching band stuff for 2 years, living up in New York, like I haven't had that. And now I'm back and it's like, oh yeah, wait. Just because it's not an orchestra hall or just because it's not, doesn't mean we don't do that. Like we still act respectful. We still make sure we're silent. We still give like our full attention to the band because that's what we would want,
Absolutely.
For our groups, right? That's what we would want. So you model what you want, you be the person you want to see in the world. So
if I may say too, Cindy made mention that if band directors could take the time to spread that message, which I think is completely important, but also I hope the circuits are doing the same thing. I know that in my regular home circuit here in Pennsylvania, there is a whole spiel that's read several times throughout the night about good sportsmanship and cheering as loudly for your competitors. You're cheering for your home team. So hopefully that's a continued practice with the circuits across the country as well.
Yep, I definitely get that, Sean. Seeing that you're just talked, but like, what are we doing? Your first one.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think it's like the thing about the thing about band programs and just coming up in your first year is like, let's work together on everything. Let's not say, oh, I'm not doing that. That's not my job. Like I don't want to be like, I'm not the dictator of a band director. I'm not that guy. I'm the, hey, what do you need? Hey, what do you need? Hey, what do you need? Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm going to help you out with this. I want to make sure that you guys work together. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I help it. Like, I can't handle. That's when I get overwhelmed. When I'm like, when they're like, when anyone that I'm working with or whether it's working at another band program as a tech, or whether it's being working at an independent group and being a band director, or whether it's being a band director and you're working with several different third party groups to put your show together, or to work with your students, or to work with your parents, or to transport. Let's all work together. It's not a oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, I'm not doing that. It's got to be it's got to be a collaborative environment for me. And whenever I'm like getting a major headache, it's like when I'm basically carrying the load on my own. And also, this is probably a great moment to say this and plug this for all band directors or any teacher out there. Ask for help when you need it, because that's my like mortal flaw or mortal folly or Achilles heel is like, I'll go and I'll do something and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then I realize it's 1 a.m. in the morning and I am still doing the thing that I thought I was, going to be able to do all my own if I lit a fire under my own butt. But it's, it doesn't work that way. I'm not in college anymore. I can't just do that for hours and then, get 4 hours of sleep and then wake up the next day and be fine and then do it all over again and then do that for 4 hours of sleep and then do it to another day and like just burn the candle at both ends for forever. You have to ask for help. You gotta make sure that you have the supports in place.
Sean, does your band have a booster club?
Yeah, we do. Yep, we do.
Because a lot of the president and all of them, there's so many things they can do for you. Those are the people where you need to start. When you say, could you help me with this? Could you take over communication? Could you, there's so many areas the parents are dying to get involved in. So definitely reach out to them too. If you're not, you probably already are.
I will tell you this, Sean. Welcome to BandTober. That's what that's all about. Be for real. And I will also say too, one of the things that I definitely looked into while you were talking, not while you were talking, but it made me realize it, that, there are some programs who the band director is the band director, the color guard instructor, and everything. Like they wear 100 hats. So there are programs where there's one person for every little detail, and then there's one person, for the whole program. So I get that. And yes, some grace, and everyone, honestly, it takes a village. So if anyone can lend a hand ever, then please do. Because I know.
I find that everybody around you and your program that cares about what you do does want to be helpful. Especially if you're new, I think that they're wanting to give you space to find yourself, not want to step on toes. So I think I understand how you're feeling, Sean, and all the newer directors around the country that are listening to our podcast. But as Cindy said, there's nothing weak about asking for help. And I mean, I remember the first couple years I had a smaller staff, and I was asking my color guard director to do things that a color guard director wouldn't do, but she was happy to do it because I knew she had the skill set to help in that very small way. So, yeah, and we'll all get through it together. That's for sure.
Okay, so my what are we doing is a little bit niche based, but I'm just saying, like, what are we doing when my DoorDasher will throw my DoorDash coffee, my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, on the floor and then let it spread into the doorway of my hotel room? This is before I even leave for the show, not for the airport to go home, but to the show. Mama needs her coffee.
Yeah, Mama gotta have it.
I mean, do they know who you are?
I never want to I never want to say, do you know who I am? However, I hope that the look that I gave him was startling enough, because as soon as it hit the ground, I opened the door and I was just like, are you serious? I'm getting my money back. I'm getting my money back. So, yeah. I maybe I'll make it this time. I don't know. That my whole thing, I have a whole routine on show day, is when I'm at the hotel, I find out what's closer, Starbucks or Dunkin'. I order it, I sit down, I go through my notes, I'm getting in the zone, I'm getting ready. That didn't do that.
Well, that begs the question, what are hotels doing not having coffee available to you?
They did have it just wasn't good.
Okay, I get that.
What we're not going to do is we're not going to accept unprofessional and unacceptable behavior, no matter what. And I'd like to think that you got a full refund and a free coffee at least.
Yes, both of those things. Yes, that is the bare minimum. Like, he needs to write me an apology note, for real. Just saying.
Thank you to all those Door Dashers out there, though.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, this is the segment where we talk about gush and goes. You can go off about anything that's going on in your life that is positive. So, who do we start with this time? Oh, Bobbey, we'll just go back to you. Gush and go.
We're gushing and going. Well, it's just that time of the year, so I'm gushing over my incredible students and the amazing work that they're doing, and the staff as well. It's been a bit of an unusual year scheduling wise because of where the Jewish holidays fell this year. So we now have Thursday night football games and Saturday afternoon football games where we didn't have them before, but everyone is just so flexible and amiable. And so I'm gushing and going about just having a great season and looking forward towards championships. And so this was my 4th year as the marching band director. So this is my first full graduating class, freshmen to seniors. And so that's been a special 4 years. Sean, you'll know what I'm talking about when you get to that point with your freshmen now, and they'll be seniors in a few years. So I just couldn't be happier and more prouder and thankful.
Oh, now you're getting emotional. Oh my God. Cindy, what do you have to gush and go about?
Well, I had a different topic, but Bobbey made me think of the COVID babies. They were freshmen during COVID, and now they're seniors. This is their senior season. And I mean, what a way, they have had an incredible 4 years, but their freshman year is something that they will never, ever be able to describe fully, because not only are they new to band in high school, but they had COVID to deal with, and they are thriving anyway. And they have a lot to teach. The little freshmen that are there now, these seniors have a lot to teach these kids. And I have to say, I see a spirit this year, and maybe that spirit is these seniors, and they've been through a lot. And I don't know. Band kids always impress me, but these COVID seniors, I'm super impressed with them.
Oh, yes, yes. That, I mean, honestly, you just saying that just reminded me of that, and I was just like, "Oh, those poor babies," because they couldn't really have a marching band season, but they were I know that they were looking forward to this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Oh, so great. Sean, what are we gushing and going about?
Yeah, I agree with Bobbey and you too, Cindy. Like the students, they're pushing hard at this point. You know, they're pushing hard. They're pushing themselves hard. But I also got to give to the parents. I just had an amazing past couple of competitions where and I say this selfishly, the hospitality offerings at some of these shows, amazing.
Yes.
Especially, yeah.
Yes.
Like
Good
they're
coffee.
getting amazing coffee. They're getting donations from tons of places in the area so that they keep their costs down, and it's giving me ideas, and it's like, you know, I think Bobbey mentioned, or no, Nicole mentioned that at one point, you know, eating food in your car, you know, eating any number of meals in your car. This is like exactly what I needed this past weekend, for example. I mean,
Yeah.
I happened to miss a meal right as rehearsal. You know, it was the confluence of the perfect number of things that happened that caused me to not be able to get a meal in. And we're on the bus before I know it, and then you know, we do the show, and then there's food. Oh my god! And it's not just hot dogs and pizza, but it's like, oh yeah, there's pulled pork, and there's a roll, and there's chili if you want it, and there's mac and cheese. It's like, okay, we need to start a rating system or something for these hospitals. That's like, we need an app for band parent hospitality, because it's on another level.
Dude,
honestly.
the last show I just went to this past weekend was in New Orleans. They had king cake for us. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
and it's not even Mardi Gras.
That's what I was saying. I was just like, y'all didn't have to go through all of this. They were like, no, but we know that y'all aren't from here. And I was like, well, that's cool. That's fine. That's hospitality right there. And so many, oh gosh, just so much good food. And you're like, do you want more? And it's just like, I do, but I can't fit it in. I should
And
be cut
judge.
off. Right. Because you want me to you don't want me to fall asleep, right?
You just hear like burps on the tape at the end.
Excuse me, you can just blame your band parents for making such good food. I will tell you my gush and go really quickly is pretty much about where I'm going, like, well, I guess you could say how I'm growing this season, but I am actually doing my first state finals next month.
Woohoo!
I'm doing prelims in Florida. So I'm really excited about that. I am very honored to have gotten that too. So I'm excited to see how that's going to go. And, you know, maybe my DoorDasher on that day will know not to throw my coffee on the ground.
Well,
one can hope.
I've had Nicole. I know the feeling. I've had the honor of judging a couple of championships in Pennsylvania, and you do feel a little bit of that responsibility, especially if you're judging, you know, a caption that goes towards the overall score. I don't know. I think all circuits are different. Sometimes if you're judging maybe color guard or percussion, it's for a specialty award, but I've judged effect, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I get this right. But in the end, I've always looked back and have remembered it as being such an enjoyable experience, knowing what an incredible memory you've made for a lot of students and their staff. So good luck. It's going to be amazing, and you are such an incredible person to put in front of a bunch of young performers. And so how lucky are those kids in Florida?
Oh, thank you. I'm excited about it. I'll tell everybody. But
Hey, it's called Gush Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Woo-wee. I just want to say thank you to everyone for a great rehearsal this week. Really thanks to our guests, Ashlee, who had to leave early, Bobbey and Cindy, and thank you to our guest clinician, Sean. Sean, where can the people find you online?
So I'm on Facebook. That's our default band communication up in Pennsylvania. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm hashtag I'm at timpani_sauce, like timpani, like the drum. I'm never gonna give up that handle. And yeah, I think that's those are my two main ones. I'm on. You can find me on my high school's website. Probably you can find me. I'm up.
Perfect. All right. And from all of us here at On a Water Break, we want to wish you a very enjoyable rest of your season, because it's your first one. So we're rooting for you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, one more thing. Don't forget that we have a YouTube channel now. So many of our interviews are coming out in full video edition. So go and subscribe and don't miss out on those. And also, before you close out of the podcast listening app, you want to go and subscribe. Don't forget to write us a review and then share this with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.